Hey, Cowboy here. I see you're checking out some of our first season. Excellent choice. Great vintage stuff. Pairs well with steak. Just a few notes. In season 1, the name of the show was actually Head to Head, a video game podcast. But it's still the same show that you've come to love or will learn to love if this is your first time listening. So in either case, thanks for listening, and welcome to GameCorp.
Head to Head, a video game podcast, is about 3 rad video game journalists set in the fictional offices of the evil conglomerate GameCorp. The show contains scenes of narrative elements, some mature content, and a whole lot of immature content. Enjoy the show.
Guys, I think this is the room.
You Lippers and po' boys are late.
Sorry, the floor has so many doors on it, and they're all down like this long, weird hallway, and then there's like a scene behind each one. I mean, suffice to say, it took a while to find this place.
Sit down and shut up, numbskulls. This is the kind of waste of time I'm talking about, people. I just got our first quarter's efficiency metrics on all of you. Anyone's guess as to what was on it?
Oh, efficiency. Wait, no, metrics. Or, well, what if we just look at it instead of guessing?
Yeah, oh god. Yes, great blouse detective. Look, the metrics are on here. Oh, and look at this. They're fucking weak. We fell 3 points short of our Q1 targets, and now the higher-ups are this close to raining down bureaucratic hellfire on all of us.
But sir, I just hacked into our accounting department, and it shows our profit margins are 130%. I mean, we're practically printing money.
Good, but not good enough. That's still 70% disgustingly excessive profit being left on the table. And besides, it's not about money. It's about power and control and imposing blind obedience through frivolous corporate mandates drafted by out-of-touch think tanks.
Hey, what's a think tank? That word always just makes me think of like an aquarium full of floating brains?
Yeah, right? So I picture like a glass cylinder you carry on your back that's full of like brain juice with this tube that leads to the back of your skull, and then when it's empty, you can't think anymore.
Hey, idiots! We are inches away from having our genitals in the genital mutilator.
The what?
I have trouble with metaphors when I'm frustrated. The point is, we're in deep shit, but the Shadow Council, the Board of Directors, has been gracious enough to give us until the end of the day to bring those numbers up before they step in. So you all need to double our efficiency today, unless you want your corporate privileges choked off by an autoerotic amount of red tape. Speaking of which, I'm increasing all double entendres to be quadruple entendres today.
Man,
I can't
Jeez.
Oh, and everyone's working a double today.
dude, no!
A double! Are you
I literally
kidding
never
me?
seen my wife.
But boss, it's a Friday.
Not anymore, it isn't. To milk the endless productivity that despair and misery bring in, the days have been reclassified to Monday, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, respectively.
Mondays, lasagna.
Alright, now let's talk about doubling department efficiency. Jerry,
Yes.
I noticed that HR's protocol is just to sit on their asses all day, waiting for employees to come to them with complaints of harassment and workplace hostility. Well, no more. Your team needs to start taking the initiative to double those numbers. I want HR on the floor stirring up drama, brewing tensions, and making those cases happen.
But, boss, we're just about to finish our quarter-long project that ranks all employees by the size of their dump trucks. And I would hate to see my team lose all of the progress on such a valuable database. It truly is a work of art.
Right. Yeah, I was looking forward to seeing that Excel sheet. Okay, finish that and then start antagonizing the workers.
Right. Of course, number 14. Boss.
What? 14? I've been working out. Anyway, yeah, Luke, foot computers.
Excuse me?
Our spy cameras notice that while most employees fear losing their jobs enough to stay busy typing with their hands, every single employee's feet have been slacking off. They just sit there all day just dangling, doing nothing. It's unacceptable. Starting today, I want every employee working on 2 computers, hands and feet.
But boss, I can't organize that. I'm busy putting out fires in IT every day. Like, literally. I walked away from an actual server fire to be here.
Excuses. Have the cafeteria cook today's gruel on the flaming servers. That'll save us on gas. And get me those foot computers. Also, I understand correctly you have the entire network running on the internet.
Yeah. I mean, we need the internet to run the network.
Well, the problem is, that means you've been completely neglecting the outer net. That's double the net we're losing out on, so get on it.
But that's not a... Boss, we don't need any of that. If you let me look at the database and the metrics, I could write an algorithm that'll effectively...
Nah, I'm the boss. I say full computers. Now, YouTubers.
Nah, bruh. We're doing like the 4-week Ambien challenge, so the only thing we're gonna be efficient at right now is naps, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, those adorable little hellions. Fine. Double the naps, you hear me? Oh, they're asleep. Well, good hustle, YouTube department.
Sir, you haven't toured the podcasting department a new defecation opening.
Oh, right. Yeah, I missed them. Oh, they're just so bland and forgettable. It's almost like personality-based camouflaged. Yeah, just look at them. They're like blended to the wallpaper. Totally would have neglected to make their lives miserable today. Yeah, good catch, Yesman.
My pleasure, sir.
Numbskulls, numbskulls, numbskulls. The worst offender of them all.
What? I think we're pretty efficient at our job. Right, guys?
Yeah, totally. I'd say our only weakness is maybe sometimes we work too hard.
Oh, yeah? Well, my reports here says you boys spend 4 hours a day playing video games, another 2 hours just talking and joking around with each other, and then 3 hours browsing the internet and chatting on social media. It's goddamn unacceptable.
But, boss, that's literally our job description. You're just saying all the stuff we do for the podcast.
Get it, you walkie LaCroix. I don't want to hear any excuses. It doesn't matter if it's illogical or unreasonable. The only thing that matters to the bigwigs is what's on paper. So today, I'm putting you three through the efficiency ringer, and I'm gonna squeeze every last drop of blood from your stones. Yesman, strike that one from my Facebook. Did not go as well as it sounded in my head.
Yes, sir.
Maybe strike the whole conversation?
Oh, laugh it up, boys. You're gonna be up to your necks in extra work today, so make it count.
Welcome to the 10th episode of Head to Head, video game podcast, brought to you by GameCorp, the totally not evil video game media conglomerate. Upper management, in their infinite wisdom, has hand-chosen us, a couple of low-level employees with zero experience, to serve as your hosts for this head-to-head, no-holds-barred matchup between two games to see which will stand triumphant. I'm your host, Cowboy.
I'm Jake.
And I'm JB, aka Jobless Barbarian.
Oh no,
But
not the job market.
You work here.
I'm putting in resumes.
Not after this episode.
In today's battle, we'll be facing off two contenders for the title of Fun-fficient factory building logistic game with Satisfactory versus Dyson Sphere program.
That's right, Jake. When I first heard these games, I thought one was a synonym for just okay, and the other one was like some sort of weird Roomba. So
Yeah, I thought it was Tyson Chicken Project,
Tyson Chicken Project.
which is a much better game.
I would play that. If we're being honest, I would play Dyson Chicken Project on the new KFC gaming rig.
Ooh, the KF console. The only computer around with a chicken chamber.
I mean, if I take off my side panel, I could put some chicken in there.
I guess
I
you
could
could put
probably
chicken.
fit a whole chicken.
You could put chicken in any computer, right? Like the KF console's not that special.
You could put some nuggets in the CD tray.
All right, man. So I've been thinking, and I know this has nothing to do with video games, but you know what? I've been thinking, since we're pretty much pros now, since we're really, really professional at this, and since we're making the big bucks and we have millions
Yeah,
of
no
listeners.
doubt, no doubt.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So there's this thing that I was noticing from our peers in the upper echelons of comedy podcast entertainment.
We have peers?
Oh, we have peers.
Oh.
We're talking, I don't know. I called up my boy Rogan, right? I called up my boy Rogan, and I was like, hey, man, so what's some cool stuff that you do in your podcast? And he was like, hey, so.
Drugs.
After a fat bong rip, I look at everybody and I say, hey, when I say something funny, even if it's only kind of funny, you got to really, really laugh, gut laughs every single time. And it got me thinking, I hear it now that I know that, I hear it in a lot of podcasts. A ton of podcasts, even if something's kind of funny, they'll be like, and that's a fine how do you do? And everyone's just like, ha, 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 ha. So I think we need to practice that. I think we need to practice it a little bit. All right,
let's.
So somebody
Who's the
start.
worst
I can't.
joker?
I can't fake laughs. I can't do
You
it. I'm
gotta
not
start.
We
You're
have
a
to
pro.
practice.
You have to practice this. So listen,
Okay.
if we're gonna hang out with people at the after parties, we have to learn how
Yeah.
to fake laugh. So okay,
schmooze. Yeah.
yeah. So all right. Who wants to
That's
say
a-
something? All right. All right. Here it comes. Here's a joke. You ready? All right. No, I'm
okay.
just gonna hit a punchline because I can't think of a joke. All right. Here it comes. And that was the whole shebang.
oh, jolly
That
good.
was amazing.
That was
That
good.
was amazing. That was
Oh my
amazing.
God.
So I expect that every episode forever now.
oh shit! Oh man. Okay, hold on. Enough joking around. Seriously, do you want to do that?
Yeah, man. So that's
Oh,
that's great.
this
All
is
right.
addicting. Actually, I like. It's like a nuke you can set off at any time. I can't even tell which laughs are real anymore.
And that's the point. That's the point. So no matter if a joke lands or not, if everybody in the room starts laughing, the listener at home is going to be like, yeah, yeah.
Right.
Social
I guess.
triggers.
Yeah, it's like
It's
social
the
triggers.
laugh track theory.
Oh my god.
It's the laugh track. Yeah, absolutely. It's the laugh track
It's
theory.
Big Bang Theory.
Oh.
Woo! Yeah.
Sorry, Big Bang is hard to laugh at.
Now
Even
I
being
just feel
mentioned.
bad because I thought that was a pretty decent. I thought it was a decent joke, and then you all laughed, and now I think all the laughter is fake.
Mm-hmm.
You've broken me, Jake.
It bleeds into real laughter after a minute. It really does. Oh shit! Basically we're trying to what's the term? Gaslight our listeners into
Absolutely.
believing that they're not laughing at the correct spots.
Yeah. So eventually, I mean, in our inevitable downfall, when we stop being funny and we just wing it after probably the 12th or 13th episode, they won't know anymore because when we laugh at each other's jokes, they're like, man, they must be funny. This must be funny. Other people are laughing.
It's so weird. I'm on a tangent though. Have you ever listened to the YouTube videos where they have digitally removed the laugh tracks from any sitcoms, and
Yes.
you realize how awkward it is during filming? Because they do have to sit through that. Nobody plays their laugh tracks live when the actors are acting, and so it's so freaking weird. And certain things that they say are just criminally creepy and almost even sexual harassment sometimes, or really aggressive. And without the laugh track, you got to watch what was that show? Big Bang Theory. Big Bang Theory has the worst of those.
Yeah, but they do actually have a live studio audience. So those weird
Do they?
pauses, yeah,
Oh.
they take those clips and there actually are audiences laughing and they get that out. So I think a lot of those YouTube videos purposefully took really long laugh segment, like when the crowd really laughed for a while.
They cherry pick.
They cherry pick it to make it especially bad. See, here's my hot take, because a lot of people pick on Big Bang Theory. I like Big Bang Theory. I just do. Maybe that makes me a basic bitch. I don't care. I like Big Bang Theory. I do. It's a household show. There's a lot of shows like it I hate, but Big Bang Theory specifically, I never saw the issue with it. It's a
It's a nerd sitcom.
nerd sitcom. It's good to turn your brain off to, and sometimes you need a show like that.
it takes advantage of the rise of geekdom to popular culture to where that's like, it's a staple. I mean, comic book movies are a mainstay right now. Like, people love all that stuff. And so they kind of came in, and the jokes aren't geared towards geeks. They're geared towards normal people thinking about those kind of geeks. Like, it's not...
That's true.
It's not geared towards the type of people that are like the characters. It's the outside observer. So
it is true.
I don't trust anything like that.
Yeah, milking geekdom, that's something you should never do. I mean, you should leave it to the mommy milkers, am I right, Cap?
No.
Wait, do you hear that?
Yeah, what? It's coming from the drop pod tube.
Yo, yeah, do
That's
they look
loud.
different?
Oh, shit. Oh,
That came in hot. Okay.
damn, that's like a few inches in the wall.
Yeah, let me go ahead and pull that out of there.
It's just shooting
Here we go.
drop pods
And-
now.
God.
That's kind of cool.
Yup, got it. Okay.
You are the new king.
You have pulled the pod from the drop. And now you will lead us all to victory.
You'll lead us in listener questions.
All right, yeah. Let me pop this open here. Okay, these listener questions have been brought to you by Harmon Summertime Good Stuff Breakfast Cakes. Trust Harmon's to tell you that yes, you can eat cake for breakfast. All right, this one comes from somebody named 9 Minute Man. Oh, do you think that's a callback to Extreme Duck Facts?
The only thing I remember from Extreme Duck Facts is 9 minutes of necrophilia.
That was not. You just squished those two things together. You cut them.
That was it,
That
right?
was not it.
That wasn't quite it.
I thought that was it.
Is that the name of a Netflix series?
I think
I
that's
don't
my
think
metal
Reasons
band.
Why? I don't know.
9 minutes to midnight, something like that.
Oh.
9 minutes to Mars, I think.
9 minutes to necrophilia.
All right, 9 Minute Man asks, if you were in a fighting game, what would your ultimate move be? And let's, hey, JB, you start.
All right, so if I was in a fighting game, my ultimate special move, like Mortal Kombat fatality, would be, I sit down in my gaming chair and I get on Amazon.com and I order just all of it. Just all of it. And then it gets delivered on you. And it's just boxes and boxes and those weird bags that are like easy rip, but they're not. How do those even work?
Mm-hmm.
And you suffocate.
It's like an Amazon Prime drop. It just like drones fly in with billions of packages and drop it on your opponents.
That's what it is.
That's topical.
Yeah, so you're employing the power of fuck you money. And yeah, the power of logistics to kill your foe. I like it.
The power of being a recluse. I will fight him from afar.
Yeah,
Fight
I'm
him
sitting
from the
there with my, long Gandalf beard, my beer belly, and I don't even like beer.
You don't
and
have
I got
any of that.
my hair that's long.
It's not that long.
It's getting longer. It gets in my mouth when I eat now.
I think you need
Is
to go
that on purpose?
outside. You need to go outside sometimes.
I went outside.
You need to touch
oh my
grass.
God. Hold on. I went outside the other day because I had to take out the trash and I saw my neighbor and it pissed me off.
What?
I got so upset.
What do you mean?
And then hold on. Wait. And then I come inside and my wife's like, what's going on? And I was like, the neighbor was out there. And she's like, oh, I'm so sorry.
What are you talking about? Did you just
She's
like
are you okay? And I'm like, yeah. I'm fine."
Did you just fucking mean mug him? Like he waved at you and you just gave him like
No.
a grizzled look or what?
No, I was holding a bag of trash because normally she brings it in on Mondays, but it wasn't in yet because they
Oh
hadn't
my
come
God.
yet. So I had to take out the bag from inside the house to outside, and he was out there just like being outside like a weirdo. And he said, he was like, I looked at him and I'm like, oh fuck. And he looked at me and he was like, hey, how's it going? And I did like a half-hearted, like, just I lifted my fingers.
What do you
And I said, hey.
You
And it
lifted
was-
just your fingers? What does that mean?
I was like,
pointed
my
at him like
hands-
ET.
yeah, I had one hand, my right hand had a bag of trash, my left hand was just at my side, and I looked at him like, oh, fuck. And he looked at me, he was like, hey, how's it going? And I just lifted my fingers on my left hand. I was like...
You just
Hey.
did like an upturned, like questioning palm to the air, like,
Yeah.
I hope he
and it
saw
was-
the life drain from your face. Just like
Probably.
any,
It was terrible.
any semblance of curvature in your mouth was just like went flat slowly.
I gotta say, 2020 was the best year. I didn't have to see anybody.
Stop saying that.
I didn't have to go outside ever.
Jesus, no. Hey,
I-
that
I know-
opinion, that head-to-head a video game podcast does not share the opinion of JB about 2020. So I will say that the last year has changed us, and I think that's a prime example right there.
I mean, all people's lives are different, but no, 2020 can be nobody's best year.
No.
I mean, 2020, I didn't see my neighbor. I'm just gonna say that right now.
Do you not like your
did he
neighbor?
ruin your
Like-
whole year?
I don't know. I don't know him.
So you just hate that he exists, and you hate
No,
that.
I just-
and you hate that he saw you.
I hate that people see me when I go outside. I don't
It's
like
so
it.
weird to me.
Oh my god.
I don't like being around.
I just picture you going inside and swearing like to yourself and kicking your dog because another human like, observed you with his eyeballs, and you're just like pissed about it. I don't
It's
get it at all.
unacceptable.
It's unacceptable.
I don't like it. I have a problem.
You've become a gremlin of some sort of like.
I wish.
I wish. I love when people on like Twitter and stuff, like there's people will say ridiculous, like out of touch things. And then a load of people just respond with the 2-word phrase, touch grass, which is like a way of saying go outside, like not even giving energy to explain that they are so out of touch with reality and social dynamics. They just say touch grass. It's so funny to me. Just like go
Dude.
touch grass and get back into real life.
That's awesome. I haven't heard that one.
It's
That
so
is-
good.
It is super good.
Every time I see it, it's like when somebody says something ridiculous and I just go, seek Christ. Like,
Yeah.
not find Jesus, seek Christ. Like, I'm not even going to explain why what you said is so terrible.
All right, man, Cowboy. How about you? What would your ultimate move be if you were in a fighting game?
Oh my God, I totally had it. Okay, I do have it. I still have it. It is the 1999 BMW. I would get in a car and I would just run people over because that's how I fight. I don't know why anybody bothers fighting with their fist or weapons. The safety and reliability of the 1992 BMW, it cannot be topped by any form of weaponry. Except for bombs and guns, I guess. But still, that would be my ultimate move is I would disappear off screen for a moment, and then at roughly 62 miles per hour, a blur of white chrome would just fly by the screen.
That's amazing. Has there ever been a fighting game where you just hit somebody with a car?
Where you just drive on through with a car.
Yeah.
I don't know.
feel
But that would be a kick-ass fatality.
Franks out there, if you know of a game, like post a GIF or a GIF if you're weird, of the scene where you hit somebody with your car in a fighting game, because I just want to see it. I feel like I don't want to live in a universe where that doesn't exist.
Yeah. I feel like that's like a Battletoads thing or something. Some ridiculous game.
Sure.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And also, Cowboy, how dare you? Because that was my answer.
No, it wasn't.
You
was it?
stole it from me. And I see these
Really?
questions beforehand, and I was like, I know what I would do. And it ended with hitting somebody with my car. And you took that from me. So now my fatality is hitting somebody with Cowboy's car. All right. So 9-minute man, here's your answer. Okay. Up next is, and also, okay, before we begin this question, I apologize if this is just your name, or I don't know if it's a handle or your name, and if it's your name and I pronounce it wrong, I apologize, but I think it's Disquarius.
Disquarius. Yeah.
Disquarius. Yeah.
No, that's from the Key and Peele skit with the football player introductions. Yeah.
Oh, well, shit. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Disquarius.
I have all those memorized. So.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, Disquarius asks, what color are Terry's underwear? Send pics.
What?
So, yeah. I don't think we're well equipped to answer this question. So, you know what? Should we call Terry?
I mean, we don't know the answer. If any of you know the answer, I would be surprised.
I don't. Okay, let's get him on the horn.
Hello, this better be important.
Yeah. Hey, Terry. So, we're in the middle of the show. We'll make it quick. I'm sorry. I know today's been pretty buck wild, but somebody wrote in, and it seems they're pretty invested in something personal. So they're asking what color your underwear is, and they want pics.
Pics of what?
Your panties, Terry. What color are they?
Underwear.
I'm sorry, I don't understand.
The stuff you wear under your clothes.
What?
Like underwear, tighty-whities, boxer briefs.
Clothes are to clothe the nakedness.
Terry, do you wear underwear?
I don't. Maybe.
Do you wear anything under your pants?
No.
No. Okay. Well.
Why would you? What? That is so inefficient. What if you have like a terrible case of bubble gut?
What?
Well, I mean, people manage, but sorry, man. I know this is super personal.
Yeah, I don't want to get into the logistics of why it's important.
I guess we're sorry, Terry. We're sorry we asked.
Fine. I'm an open book. And speaking of books, I am writing a new one, and I'm posting some snippets of it to my corporate page. You can find it on h2hpod.com/Terry's Corner. That's TerrySCORNE.
Terry. I know. Google will handle it. Wait. You put a webpage up on our website? On the head-to-head website?
Yeah.
Who said it was your website?
I mean,
I handle all the resources of the humans.
All right,
man. All right, good talking to you, Terry. We're just gonna let you go.
All right. If you ever need me on the podcast again, I have some new things to talk about.
Bye, Terry.
Jay can't up.
All right.
Click.
Bye then.
So, there's your answer, and shame on you. I think. I don't even know. I don't know why I even asked that one. But yeah, man, that was something. That's actually the end of listener questions this week because I don't want to talk about them anymore.
Yeah, we definitely cannot post pics for a couple of reasons.
No way.
Of that. Do not exist. Is one reason.
Now, before we move on, we here at Head to Head, a video game podcast, don't believe ourselves to be the end-all be-all when it comes to passing judgment on video game battles. We are just three guys with a passion for video games and implied violence. So, we'd like to extend the gavel to you, trusty listeners, to help weigh in on what we call the Audience Head to Head. The Audience Head to Head is brought to you by Benson's Cure-All Energy Drink. It really cures everything, literally. It's a cure for cancer, gunshots, even death.
Whoa.
You will be immortal. And that is a statement that is 100% factual. No catch. Claims have not been evaluated by the FDA. By purchasing Benson's, you agree to assume any and all risk to yourself and others which may occur after consuming Benson's. Benson's, 100% miracle, 100% factual. Last episode, we asked you to grab your pitchforks and solve the age-old debate, Dota 2 versus League of Legends. And with the fiery hot rage of 1,000 suns, I am not pleased to announce that the winner is a baby game. I mean, League of Legends, whatever.
Baby game.
This episode, we want to find out who is the goodest of boys. Our four-legged friend with poor depth perception, D-Dog from Metal Gear Solid 5.
Aw.
Or, he's got the eye patch, or the immortal bandana-wearing dog meat from Fallout 4.
Ah, that's a tough
Pupper
one.
battle. I
It
love
is
a
tough.
good dog fight.
No. Yeah.
I mean, dog battle.
No.
That makes it
No.
right?
I told you guys we need to have dog fighting on the podcast. I'm glad you finally agreed.
Yeah.
You guys totally shot it down the first time I said it. This is
Alright,
what I meant. Dog fighting. Dog battles.
Well, you can find out. Jesus. You can find our poll on social media, or you can reach out directly and help us answer this burning question. And
Why
it's
does it
not
burn when I pee? It's a burning question.
Oh! Good one.
Whew.
Somehow that was even less gratifying.
Yeah, isn't it?
What's that?
Oh, are we getting... That's a drop pod. Are we getting another drop pod?
I mean, we usually don't, but
Dude,
ooh,
that's
that's
do you
really
hear that?
winding up.
That's a big drop pod coming
What's
in.
that banging?
Hey, guys.
Holy shit, Luke, did you just come out of the drop pod tube?
Huh? Oh, yeah. Boss doesn't want people wasting time walking around or anything. Everyone's getting around by the tube now.
Oh, that's what the screaming in the walls was. I told you it wasn't ghost cars.
Wow, dude, you were going like Mach 6. Like, I don't know how all your bones aren't broken.
I mean, I don't know what to tell you. I'm just, built different. But yeah, it was pretty fast. Same with the elevator. It takes about 3 seconds to get from the first floor to the 20th floor. Super spooky, right? But the harnesses, I mean, they keep you pretty secure.
Yeah, cool, man. So, what's going on? What can we help you with?
Actually, I'm here to help you. Boss wants me to go over a few things with you guys. I'm in a rush, though, so can we go over it, quick? Like right now?
Oh, yeah, like what?
Well, first, he's moving lunches around to be more efficient. So, you guys had the 11 to noon lunch, it looks like here. So, looks like you guys are now 11:30 to 11:31.
What? That's crazy. We can't eat a whole lunch in a single minute.
Oh, yeah, I mean, that would be tough. Good thing they brought in these meal ejections, right?
Oh, nice. Dibs on the French dip.
I actually finished my equestrian salad with 15 seconds left over to relax. So, I mean, the time slots are not that bad at all. Oh, also, I'm going to need you to hand over your consoles and computers and, well, any electronics, really.
What? No, we can't give you those, dude. We need them for the podcast.
Oh, no worries. I'm upgrading them
Oh.
to Bitcoin mining machines anyway, so you guys won't be able to use them. Well, I guess you'll just have to switch to board games or something.
That's ridiculous, man. We can't.
No, also, I do need you to move your chairs out to the hall. I got you new seats.
Oh, cool. Well, at least we're getting new chairs. Oh, are they the sleek new pro gamer racing chairs that double your APM and accuracy?
No. They're exercise bikes, actually. All the departments are going energy efficient, so you'll be using them to power the podcast. And, I mean the Bitcoin miners.
No, dude, you can't be serious.
Luke, you can't actually believe this is going to help with the metrics, do you, man?
Well, no, it won't. But they're making me do it anyway, so... I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter what I think, does it?
No, Luke, enough, man. This is ridiculous, dude. We can't let them do this.
What do you mean, do what?
Make us feel like we don't matter. Walk all over us workers, the ones who keep this company running day in and day out.
Yeah, especially not by a bunch of fat cat CEOs who probably never worked a day in their lives.
Yeah, Luke, you're the smartest, hardest working guy in this building. Like, aren't you tired of people dumber than you telling you how to do your job?
Well, I mean, yeah, that does get pretty annoying. You know they made me use low-voltage C7 capacitors on all the M-series boards for the mainframe servers?
Oh,
yeah.
What?
Yeah, man.
No,
That's
C7?
crazy.
M-series? You said mainframe?
Internet.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
Well, no more, Luke. You need to stand up for yourself. For all of us little guys, and tell the boss we're done letting management push us around. We produce results. So damn the metrics and damn those fat cats.
Yeah, you know what? You're right. I've been bullied around by these kinds of big bad guys all my life. I am Luke of IT, and I'll say what gets turned on and off again.
Yeah.
Oh, but I do have one last item here before I forget, and it's for Frank. Wait, who's Frank?
Oh, Frank is our listeners. Cowboy calls him Frank for some reason. Wait, you have tasks for our listeners?
Yeah, hi there, listener, or Franks, whatever. To get you through this episode and onto another ad-filled one as efficiently as possible, I'm gonna need you to just go ahead and adjust that listen speed to, I don't know, 1.5, maybe 2. I mean,
No, Luke, you can't.
That sucks, man.
That's not
That's so
okay.
fast.
I mean,
yeah,
1.2.
just go ahead and
that's-
crank that speed up.
Don't.
Thanks.
Oh my God.
1.2 is
Now,
not reasonable.
I'll go
Frank, please.
ahead and talk slow so you understand me
No,
better.
no, Luke, stop. That defeats the whole purpose of speeding it up in the first place.
What? You have to talk slow or they won't understand you.
Oh my, damn it, Luke, stop messing with our show.
Franks, don't listen to him. Turn it back down if you turned it up.
Luke, you gotta stop, man. Go stand up to the boss and tell them you know what you're talking about.
Yeah, go tell him, Luke. You can do it.
Yeah, you can do it, Luke.
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 All right, I'm going. Wish me luck, boys.
Woo!
Yeah. Go, Luke.
Wait. Yo, did we just manipulate Luke into doing what we wanted? It's kind of ironic, isn't it?
Yeah, but it was efficient. Now we don't need to do those exercise bikes, and he's going to be the one to stand up to the boss.
Yeah. Oh, wait. Are we the baddies?
I don't even know anymore, man.
Probably.
Well, while we take stock of our moral integrity, let's go ahead and take a break for tonight's ad. But when we return, get ready for a showdown.
Head to Head, a video game podcast, is brought to you by Cuddle Buddy the Wonder Bear by Hamsbone. Sure to be the perfect gift for the little one at home, Cuddle Buddy is a delightful bear plush with lifelike animatronics and over 400 clever sayings to keep the fun rolling all day long. Soft, lightweight, and equipped with an AMD Threadripper CPU and lithium-ion battery, Cuddle Buddy will impress the whole family with clever sayings, interactive games, and fun song and dance routines you can't help but play along with. As a special treat, I have my very own Cuddle Buddy right here. Let's go ahead and hear some of those clever catchphrases.
I'm Cuddle Buddy and I'm here to stay.
Delightful. Let's go ahead and hear one more.
When you fall asleep at night, I sneak into your mom's room.
Let's take that again and get a better soundbite.
Me and your mama have been going steady for 3 months.
What the fuck? Hey, guys, did you mess with this?
Never forget, I know where you sleep.
Yo, what's wrong with this bear, dude?
I'm a pig specimen, you beta bitch.
This cute companion is yours for 3 easy payments of $29.99. Buy yours today at CuddleBuddy.com.
It would be a shame if you lose some teeth while you sleep at night.
Nope, fuck it. I'm out. Bye.
Efficiency is the key master. Are you the gatekeeper? Answer me. That wasn't a rhetorical question. If you get a quarter chub for automating automation for the sake of automating more automation, then do I have the games for you? Don't answer that one. That one is rhetorical. We have 2 games that double dog dare you to strip mine entire planets just to get more stuff. But which one will win the title of Fun-fficient factory building logistic game? Find out next on today's Head-to-Head Showdown.
Our first contender in tonight's matchup is Satisfactory, the good enough game that adequately digs its own grave with its own name. It's made by Coffee Stain Studios, makers of Goat Simulator. Really? Goat Simulator, okay. And Sanctum 2. This one is the love child of Subnautica and Factorio, with all the awe-inspiring sights and the little design charms combined with the brain-numbing monotony of factory building. You'll play as a single, overworked, underpaid corporate slave whose sole job boils down to just setting up and maintaining the machines that actually do the real work in this bizarre alien world of automation. Or it could just be our world in 40 years when Elon Musk and Bezos streamline everything. In this game, you'll start off by picking flakes of iron out the ground with your electric screwdriver, just in the hopes of scraping together enough material to construct your first DIY drill station. You'll explore the lush landscapes, tussle with the occasional alien wildlife, and chainsaw the ecosystem in 2. However, only hours later, you'll be stuck 10 levels deep in your own cerebellum trying to figure out the maze of crisscrossing layers of conveyor belts, pipes, tubes, walkways, and power lines that you designed for your ever-expanding, rigged-up Rube Goldberg machine that you built just to feed all the smelters, constructors, generators, packagers, extractors, and any other building I forgot that has the "or" suffix. But it's all in the name of the game. It doesn't gotta look good, it just has to be sufficient. Alright, Satisfactory.
All right, guys, let's talk about Satisfactory. Now, I was thinking about this. This is kind of a new genre in gaming. Not a lot of people have had the opportunity to play games like this. I mean, specifically, it's automation games. So, Cowboy, you're the one who had the idea to do these games. You are big into them and you've played them so much more than I know, at least I have, and maybe JB. I don't want to speak for you, but can you give us a rundown about automation games in general and what this one's like specifically?
Yeah, so, I mean, and this isn't really that different from the formula that you're going to see from other games in this genre. There's one name you're going to hear come up all the time, which is Factorio, which kind of revolutionized, you could say that, revolutionized the idea of an automation game. The whole idea here is exponential growth. You start... In all these games, you'll see it. Satisfactory, DSP, Factorio, other things that I'm forgetting to mention. You start with, like, your hands, basically, digging just the salt from the earth. You pull up your first ore with your hands. You construct your first machine that does that for you. And suddenly, you don't have to do that anymore. But now that that does that, you have to concentrate on what that produces, iron. And so you got to smelt it. So you build the smelters to smelt it, and then they feed those things to buildings that construct things out of it. So you're no longer even constructing the robots. The robots are constructing the robots who construct the constructors. It's fractals all the way up. So it's just like this exponential thing. And the neat thing about these games, I think where people like them, is you're always kind of arising your own challenges. You're building this factory, and as things come up, there are natural issues like, oh, I didn't get enough power for my factory. I need to go out and build more stuff. So you're getting that joy of like solving problems, but it's not spoon-fed to you. You are creating the problems and then deriving the solutions for them. So it's really neat. It's, for some reason, it's just satisfying to have problems naturally occur and then to solve them and be like, this is how it would work in the real world. I would run a multi-million-dollar business if I just had the ambition. At least that's what I get from it. JB, you play these kind of games too, right?
I do. I really like these games, and I really hate Factorio.
Yes,
and
I don't
it's
get
so
it.
weird. I don't get it either. Like, I should
the
love
Godfather.
Factorio. I should love it. It's exactly what I love. I mean, I play a lot of idle games on my phone where it's just, it's all automated. You don't have to do shit. Like, you tap a few times and then you automate tapping, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's my jam. I love efficiency. I love things happening while I don't have to do things. Like, it's all in my wheelhouse. But for some reason, I don't like Factorio. I think where Satisfactory differs from Factorio is, number one, it's a completely different viewpoint. Like, literally, you're first person rather than top down, kind of like Age of Empires style point and click automation. It's more first person 3D. It gives me like a sense of like a No Man's Sky style planet, and you're just building factories that build other factories that build other factories, and it's a unique experience for sure.
And the thing, have you ever seen that clip? Maybe everyone's seen it by this point because it got kind of big on the internet. The clip from Malcolm in the Middle, where the dad comes home, Bryan Cranston comes home, and he has a note to change the light bulb. And he goes to change the light bulb, but the light switch is off. And so he goes to fix that, but then the drawer he opens squeaks. And by the end of it, it's just a progression of problem to solve a problem to solve a problem. He's like fixing the car. He's taking the engine out of the car. And she goes, did you fix that light bulb yet? And he goes, what does it look like I'm doing? As he has the engine torn out.
It's fixing the car.
It's so funny because that is oddly the appeal of these games. You literally, like, problems arise and you fix a problem to fix a problem to fix a problem. And when you collapse that giant Russian doll, it feels so good.
Right.
Once
it starts working, it's just like an aha moment. And I completely agree with you. That is the appeal of these games, is like it's hard to explain, but I feel like everybody's felt this feeling before, where you take a problem from, a high level problem down all the way to the intricacies and then build it back up with solutions. And at the end, you have something working. Like, it's just, it's amazing. There's not quite any other feeling like it. I think that's why people like programming. I think that's why humans built computers in general.
It's the Frankenstein moment too.
It's just the human spirit. It's the human spirit. We want to create. We want to fix. We want to put out fires. Some of us want to make fires, and that's fine, because then there's people that put them out.
I think you're talking about arsonists and firemen, yeah. Those are things that exist. So you did like Satisfactory?
I did, yeah. I did like Satisfactory more than Factorio.
Man, I want to ask, could you, try in the most basic form to dissect why this game worked and Factorio didn't, because they are spiritually linked. They are kin in that capacity. I felt the same thing for both. Can you dissect why you didn't like Factorio?
I've been thinking about this, actually, and no, but but I have some theories.
No, I cannot. Next question.
I don't know for sure, but I do have some theories, and I think one of them is, and I think it's the main thing that I like about Satisfactory. Like, the biggest positive to me is that it's more flexible, and I mean that literally, because Factorio is a grid system. Like, you have to build things, straight lines, organize them properly. Otherwise, things don't work. And in Satisfactory, I said, fuck it. I don't need to make like a perfect grid pattern organization for my coal power plants. And I'm just like, oh, there's water 6 miles away. I'll just pump it through some tubes all the way across the world.
Yeah.
And I'll make them go over mountains, and in some cases through mountains, which shouldn't work, but it does. And then I'm like, oh, there's coal over here. Let's just make that go in a loop-de-loop. I purposefully, and it was the most fun I had in this game, is I made the most roundabout way to take iron that was right next to a storage unit for iron and make it go all the way around my base and like through little holes and above things. And I had like platforms it could go on, and then it went into the storage unit.
Yeah.
And it was amazing. Like the amount of flexibility you have was just, it was too good. It just felt like it felt natural. It felt real. It felt more grounded. And Factorio feels so much more like I am robot. I build factory.
Yeah, in Satisfactory, if it's built, if you finish it and it works, you're done with it forever. It doesn't matter how shitty it is, how slapped together, it will run those things from one hole to the other until the end of time. But in Factorio, there are certain moments of the game where you will have to rip out the heart of your factory, and space is so limited that you're talking like 10 hours of work. No flexibility. Right. You got to kill entire production lines over here to fit this, to get this to work again, and it's a headache. But in this game, it's literally like, fuck it, just build a platform above it and make it happen. Just fucking do it. Just get it done, and you can. There's no hassle. That's exactly what you're talking about.
It's like a bowl of spaghetti. Like it doesn't need to be perfectly organized. It just needs to work.
Just get it in your hole. Just get it from the hole that is the bowl to your mouth. That just conveyor
if
it
some
via
spills,
the
if you get some spaghetti sauce on your shirt, it's fine. Nobody's judging you.
These are top-notch metaphors. I hope you understand the game a lot better now, Frank. It's spaghetti.
All right, we've been talking a lot. Jake, what do you think about this game?
Okay, so I gotta back it up just a little bit.
Back it up, Jake.
I gotta
back it up. Back that
I gotta
dump
back
truck
it up.
on.
I need to present my dump truck on this case. So, as a rule, I don't like this style of game at all. Factorio was an instant turnoff to me. Any game that I play that feels like work, I don't like. I've been working all day. I don't want to come home and sit here and slowly slave away to create factory chains just to give myself more work to do, because it's just more upon more upon more upon more upon more. And Factorio, man, everything about that game, I ran away from it. It made me feel ooky to play.
Yeah.
It seriously did. Cut to this episode and these rounds of games. I was not excited at all to play these games, but I know they mean way more to you guys. At least I know, especially you, Cowboy. Like, these are your games. These are your games. They meant a lot to you. So I was like, let's do it. Let's fucking do it. So I boot up Satisfactory. All of a sudden, it's there. I'm noticing first, this is really pretty. This game is gorgeous. It's everything about it. It's eye candy, man. And I'm playing on a higher end rig, so I get to bump everything up as far as it goes. I get those max frames. It's delicious. I find out that there's 4 maps to play. It's not procedurally generated. It's 4 different environments that were crafted with love, and I'm instantly intrigued. The game starts up. It's not just here you are in a landscape, get to work, motherfucker, dig some iron. I'm in some sort of drop pod from space, and it's setting up this whole scenario that I'm a factory worker for the Fix-It Corporation. And I'm being dropped on this alien world, and from there I need to build factory stuff to send up into space. I'm like, oh, cool. And I'm dropping down onto this alien planet, and I look around, and I'm like, oh my God, I get to explore something. I get to explore this world. So yeah, I start setting up my basic stuff, and Satisfactory is immediately, it's accessible. It holds your hand. It shows you your basic stuff. It's like, hey, you do this, you do this, you do this. There's your base. You know how to set up these basic factory chains. There you go. And then all of a sudden, my stuff's up and running. And by the way, each individual factory piece and all that is beautifully animated, even down to the auto drillers. The auto drillers, when the first thing that you get to drill, it's like these little drones you set down with your hands, and they wake up like cute little robots, and they squint their eyes and stuff, and they look around, and then they drop their drills in and get to work. That charm carries through the entire game. Now, that's what got me hooked. And
Can I ask, did you play Subnautica?
Yeah, I love Subnautica.
And-
yeah, it immediately reminded me of Subnautica.
It took the charm, and the
Yeah.
charm. It's like having a coworker you're attracted to, and you might like maybe you don't like working, but like that you're charmed into coming to work. Like that's what it is. That's the Subnautica charm, is you don't even realize you're working because you just love what you're looking at. Maybe I shouldn't be saying that. Terry, please don't, Terry.
So Satisfactory is also, it's just more than an automation game too, because I found out, Factorio has bugs, a never-ending bug infestation.
Wait.
It never goes away, and you always have to deal with, which just compounds on the stress of automation on top of automation. I hated that part.
Yeah,
But-
automation with the Zerg rush is
Yeah.
just not
Oh
acceptable.
my god, hate it.
Nothing's more frustrating.
Yeah, man, I hate it. But
I love that.
Satisfactory, there are things to overcome. There's hostile fauna. There's creatures that you have to overcome. There's certain like poison areas. There's hostile things you have to overcome. But it's more like just exploring the world, man. It gives you tools. You can build a rebar gun to shoot them.
Yeah.
And then eventually I found out it's more than that. You can build different vehicles. You can build trains. You can build vacuum tubes to get around. Like, dude, oh
Yeah.
my God. I had so much fun building the tubes to just fly around everywhere. And you can twist and turn them in all these crazy directions. Satisfactory is the most accessible automation game that I've experienced. And I've experienced 3. But I've experienced the big 3.
It is.
I agree. It is a highly accessible sandbox factory building game.
Yes.
And you wouldn't think it could have all that because you're so amazed by like the graphics and the first person's perspective. You're like, this can't be Factorio complex, but it is. They include it.
Yeah, it absolutely can get that complex, but at the same time,
In a good way.
it's in a good way, sure. But at the same time, it's a fun game just to dick around in.
Yeah.
Like, I loved it immediately when I found out, oh my God, I'm not tied to just work. I can have fun too. Like,
Oh my God. There was a situation where I was sitting there. I had water going into my coal power plants, basically. I don't remember what the name of them are. But it wasn't getting there. And I was like, what the fuck is happening? Why aren't my plants going? I have water. I have coal. Why is there no electricity? And I'm sitting there like toiling over it. And I realize, oh, wait, like it's going uphill. Water can't go uphill easy. And I find a pump. And I'm like, oh, what if I just throw this pump on there? And everything started working. And I felt like a genius. I was like, water doesn't go up. You need to push it. And it was so, I like solved it. And then the game gave me the tools to fix it. Like such a good moment in gaming in general is when you solve the problem before you know what tools are at your disposal. And then the game gives you those exact tools you need.
All right, so that's a lot of good about this game, but there's got to be some bad to it. I don't have any bad personally, but I bet you guys do. So, Cowboy, again, this is your jam. Is there anything about Satisfactory you don't like?
Yeah, I mean, and these might be personal, these might be subjective, but I love top-down views. I love everything at a glance, and I know it's a trade-off with this game. I know they simplify it, they compensate for that, but I can get lost easy. My attention moves, and I can't keep it all in my head unless I can see it all at one time. And so sometimes I'm like, wait, what is this belt going to? What are these machines doing? Where am I going with this? And I have to like run around, run up a mountain, look down at it, and be like, oh, that's going there and that's going there. And that's a little annoying to me. I would love to be able to fly straight up and look at it all and be like, oh, right, I was constructing this over here. And again, that's my attention span and everything. Other people don't have that problem. But the inability to, at a quick glance, get an understanding of all the moving pieces kind of made me spend a lot of time having to review what I've already done. and like look at recipes and remember what's going where, which the other games don't have that problem. They give you a massive field of view. DSP does, the Godfather Factorio does. That's a hit against it. That's something I don't like.
I have some things I don't like as well, but you just reminded me of one thing I do like, so I'll share that. I loved the range at which you could do things. Like,
oh, yeah.
I mean, in both of these games, and I'll talk about it in the next one too, but the range at which you could touch things and interact with things was much better than Factorio, and it just felt really good.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So throwing that away, the bad. I think things were spaced too far away, and it got to the point where I was like, okay, well, I can go through all of this trouble of, going to all of these different boxes I have and grabbing all of my iron plates and my iron bars and my copper wire to build a whole new mining area and then transport it all the way over to my main base. Or I could just, go eat a sandwich for a while, maybe watch some TV and come back and I'll have all the resources I need. And I always chose the sandwich. Always.
Yeah, that's fair, man. I've left both of these games just running while I did other stuff.
Yeah, and I'm like, that's not... I mean, at least
I'm ashamed of you.
For how terrible it is, it always had something you had to do.
Yeah.
And in these games, it's like, nah. Like, it wasn't... It felt like it wasn't worth the effort in Satisfactory to go out and do stuff. Well, and instead I had fun building really big pathways for iron to get to a box just because I was like, oh, I got this new elevator, let me just build it as high as I can and then do like a roller coaster down into a storage box just because. And I don't think that was the intent. I'm glad it exists, but that wasn't the game making it fun. That was me making fun of what the game gives me. And I guess that's fine, but I don't know. I just didn't want to play the game the way the game should be played. And I think that's a negative.
Is it, man? I see that as a positive. Like, man, Satisfactory gives you so many tools to have fun between your weapons and your vehicles and the tubes. Like, oh, the dumb stuff you can do. Like, if you set up a large chain of vacuum tube entrances, if you set them up just right, you can enter one and shoot yourself like a fucking railgun from one edge of the map all the way to the other one. You die, but Satisfactory gives you tools to do really dumb things like that. And
it does.
The other automation games just don't.
I feel like it's what's what is the name of that prize you get just for fucking showing up?
A participation
consolation.
Yeah, it felt like a consolation prize that, it was like, so you go to your space elevator and you're like, all right, what do I need for the next thing? And you're like, nah, I ain't doing that. Yeah. All right, well, let me shoot myself to the fucking moon.
Well, that's
it's fine. I'm glad they give me the option to shoot myself across the map, but I want to enjoy playing the game. I want to get to the end, and I just couldn't.
Let me say this, because one thing that I noticed with me is I was, and this may even be too meta, but I was completing objectives because I knew I needed to progress the game, to talk about the game. I hate to keep bringing up Factorio, but it's the Godfather, so I will. I was fueled by the desire of the items I would unlock. I would complete things and construct new things because I wanted these new things I could see in my research. With Satisfactory, I was just doing it because I had to, because my corporate overlords were telling me that they need these, or else, I don't know, I'm fired. I mean, what a ridiculous premise. But I don't. So, nothing really drove me. I didn't have desire to complete the objectives besides the fact that I was being told to.
So
exactly. That's my point.
When you saw in the build tree with the research station that hey, if you do this, you can have a gun. That didn't drive you to be I want that gun. Or like in tier 4 or whatever, when it shows you these badass vehicles you can get, you're like, yeah, I want those. That didn't drive you?
Certain things.
It should have, but in a lot of ways, the game felt overbearing. Like, the whole game towered over me. These big, bulky buildings, these big, bulky conveyor belts, everything felt like a hassle to me. I don't know if this is subjective or even perspective or psychological, but just everything felt like I gotta slug this thing over here and drag this conveyor belt there and set all this stuff up, and like, why am I even doing this? Oh, right, I'm being forced to. I don't know why, but that was my mentality of the game, is like, just get these things done.
That's exactly how I feel about all of Factorio.
Yep, me too. Yep.
And I get that this is more of a fun, because this is a multiplayer game compared to its competitor, Dyson Sphere program. You can play this with friends, and you can do a lot of weird stuff. You can go through, tubes, fight aliens, explore the land together, and it's great for that, which, if you have friends to play with this and everybody wants to buy it and play it, I mean, that's a huge plus for it. But without it, to me, it was a slog. Just a bit. That was one gripe I had.
I enjoyed the solo aspect of it.
Me too.
I really felt like I was dropped on a planet and, hey, here's your on-the-job training. Listen to our training video, and here's your tool. Go get it. And then as you progress, you learn more and more about your role and your job, and you're doing it your way, and you make it work. And that felt good, because it wasn't like, I don't know, with Factorio, I don't know if it's the scale of it or the whatever it is. It just feels like you have to do things a specific way.
Yeah.
And Satisfactory allows you to do it just however the fuck you want.
Maybe that kind of thing is a very fragile thing, because I can understand how you guys did, but it just did not work on me. It's like hypnotism. It just didn't work for me. I stared at it and I did the things I was supposed to do, and the magic did not happen. So I understand objectively like what's good about it and what's fun, but I can tell you I wasn't actually, those kind of payoffs didn't actually happen in my brain. So different folks, different strokes.
Gross. Well, that is Satisfactory, the automation game for people who don't like automation games. I say, is that a good thing or a bad thing? Let's find out later. Hit it, Cowboy.
Our second contender in today's matchup is Dyson Sphere program, made by YouthCat Games, the Chinese developer best known for having a website in a language that I can't read. But thanks to some handy articles, we know that they are a 5-person dev team who put the game together in a little under 2 years, which is actually impressive for this game, so go dudes in China, I guess. This one is a mashup of Stellaris and, well, Factorio again, because let's face it, Factorio is the godfather of factory games. You play as the universe's most boring mech warrior, known for calculating mining efficiency rather than missile trajectory. You'll set up a basic 1-2 punch of mining and smelting to run your research stations, but before long, you'll gain countless new confusing chemicals, crystals, chips, carbon tubes, capacitors, colored cubes, and brain clots as you try to understand what the hell any of this is even for. You'll methodically traverse the starting planet, setting up ever-increasing amounts of resource extractors and production lines just to research faster and better ways to continue bleeding the planet dry to fuel your unending lust for sexy logistics and smoking hot efficiency, aka corporate expansion. Once you've coated the planet in self-gratifying line after line of production and reproduction, you'll blast off in search of another full-bodied planet just to plant your seed of industry all over again. And why do any of this, you ask? You didn't? Oh, well, fine then. I'm not going to tell you. Seriously.
All right, my rad dads, let's talk about Dyson Sphere program. Now, I do want to pass it off to you again, Cowboy, because these are your jams. I do have a juicy tidbit, though, that I'm going to share about this game. I just don't want to talk about it yet. So, what did you think about Dyson Sphere program?
I'm mixed. I know it's good, and I like it. But I'm going to have complaints about this one. I don't know if you're looking to me for a bunch of praise to be heaped on it because I love factory games, but I'm picky when it comes to certain stuff. So this one, is well designed, but bothered me. I didn't like the way it was set up. So I might align more with JB on this one, if he hated it. I mean, what did you think, JB?
I loved it.
Oh, of course.
I love this
fucking
game.
Of course.
It was so good.
Do you just hate me? Is that what this is? You do. Your preferences are spiteful towards me. That's all they are.
I don't know. It felt right. I gotta say, Satisfactory felt good in the early game. Dyson Sphere program felt so good in like the middle to late game. Once you got to a certain level, things just clicked. And the amount of scale that you could do, the fact that you could, I mean, I'm spoiling this game, but I mean, that's the point, right? The fact that you can fly to another planet and just go, fuck that spaghetti factory I left on Earth. I'm going to Mars.
Well, and I want to say that's fucking cool because two of my favorite, like,
I agree.
And one of them is No Man's Sky, which is sort of controversial, but I thought that was a great fucking space game. Once they got it, up to speed. Not anymore. Even when it came out, I was like, this is fucking dope. But also, here's one that a lot of people hated, Spore. I loved Endgame Spore. I loved the space stage in Spore, which is people's most hated part of that. And so
I didn't like that.
I know. Of course, because I just said I liked it. So you don't have to say that. But with this one,
I've
I
seen
know
that.
I would.
Yeah.
And one thing I want to bring up that we didn't say for Satisfactory is these games have, with these kind of games, creativity is the high ceiling on these games. Once you've done everything, your own imagination is how high these games can go. And with this game, too, being able to go into space, I watched a video of some guy separating his smelting, mining, and production by planet. So he would send all the raw ore to one planet, to a massive smelting planet. The entire thing was just coated in black smoke and smelters. And I mean, that's efficient. It's of his own design. It's creative. But early to mid stage rubbed me the wrong way. I just did not like it.
Yeah.
I agree. Early to early mid, like it's just like the first 10 hours are kind of a slog, to be honest.
Yeah.
You never have enough power. You're always manually doing things, and it just doesn't pick up fast enough. But once you get to the point where you're like traversing planets and you're actually like doing things, and oh my god, one of my favorite things was anytime I went to a new planet, the first thing I did would be to go to one of the poles. Did either of you build on the poles of any planets?
No.
Oh,
why?
It builds in a circle. I don't know why it's amazing, but the fact that you can just build in a circle, it was like everything was radial, and it was just, it felt good.
Well, you don't have to go to the poles. You can do that on the equator. You can do that on any point. It's
well,
all.
I did it on the poles.
It's more obvious.
Santa Claus.
Because I wanted to meet Santa.
I wanted to meet Santa. They said, oh, you can go to your map and you can see the poles. And I'm like, oh, well, I'm going there right now.
The Dyson
and then, of course,
Santa
I started
project.
building there. Yeah. And it was great. It was great. And I don't know, like it felt like, so here's the crazy thing. I really liked this game, and I hate Factorio, but this game felt like Factorio. Like it felt
did.
so much more like Factorio than Satisfactory did.
Because this is a top-down game, so if we didn't describe that, it's top-down, but you can zoom in and out, and you can change the camera for 3D a bit. But it's not first-person. It's not locked in like Satisfactory is, and it takes a little more from Factorio with the amount of buildings you have to do and the scale of it. So it is more
basically stole like the colored research.
Yeah,
like hey, you need the red research, yellow, blue, whatever, in order to unlock the next like tier of item.
Yeah. But one of my issues was in Factorio and other games, I can recognize the items and what they do and what I'm going to use them for, and it's all pretty like obvious to me. But the items in this game were so out of left field for somebody who's never seen them that I was like, I don't want to fucking learn what all these are and where they go and their nuances of how much I need of each and their speed. Because to me, the items were all sci-fi and new and non-intuitive as far as what they do. And maybe it's because we're limited for time. Maybe this game is great in the end game. I'm sure it is if you can put in your first 30, 40 hours. But god damn, the early game and the mid game just left me in heaps of confusion.
Here, if I may, I want to straight up just share my whole journey with this game. It's not super long. Okay. Because again, we did only have 2 weeks to play these games, and they're both massive in scale. And you can put hundreds of hours into these games before you see the end of it. You just can. So all three of us, we talked about it. We know that we're scratching the surface, even with this review.
Yeah.
So just hang with us. But so here's my journey with Dyson Sphere program. It starts up. I'm flying through space, and some sort of automaton is talking to me, and I'm like, oh, cool. It's super sci-fi, futuristic. Neat. You find out that like the whole goal is you've been sent out to create a Dyson sphere around the sun. In order to do that, you need to harvest a lot of different resources from different planets. Okay, there's the factory game. That's your goal. That's why you are doing it. I land on a pretty little garden planet. It's neat. I realize I'm a tiny little bumblebee, like the Autobot. The character you play looks so much like the Autobot Bumblebee.
Yeah.
Like, I'm surprised they're not getting sued already. You play as Bumblebee. So I get Bumblebee, I start walking around, I start making things. I realize, oh, I make things inside of me. So you don't have to go to a workbench or anything like that. You can actually replicate pieces inside of yourself because you got a little replicator and whatnot. I'm like, cool, okay, so let's do that. So I make my stuff. I slowly start building my little factories. I realize I have to pump a bunch of energy everywhere, so I'm covering the fucking planet in the little wind sails, and it's not enough. So I eventually get solar. It's not enough. Okay, I finally get to a point where I get into the groove, and I look at the tree, like the tech tree, all the it's everything you have to research and all the goals that you have to get to, and it is sprawling. And I was immediately overwhelmed. I'm like, holy shit, I can't play this game, or I can't do this game justice, at least.
Yeah.
Like, you want me to build the Empire State Building, and here I am just fucking pouring slabs of concrete for the walkway. Like, woof. So I do the best I can. I start playing around. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do my due diligence. I'm going to get to space. So I build all my stupid little like factory chains that are super inefficient all around this little garden planet. I'm digging rocks. I soon realize that if I automate like 3 processes, cool, I can get enough pieces to start unlocking stuff. And that's where the game stalled out completely for me, because I realized in this, at least in the early game for Dyson Sphere, if you set up a little area for yourself that you can charge your mech with your wind and solar and whatever, you won't have to cut down trees. By the way, your Bumblebee runs on fucking trees and coal and stuff.
Yeah.
It is super inefficient. You have to keep powering your mech. But I found out that if I just grab a few pieces of my factory chain, walk over to my power station and just click some buttons, my little mech will get to work, and I can walk away from the computer for 20 minutes, and I will slowly just unlock stuff. I played more of Dyson Sphere, I think, away from my computer than I did at it. Yes, and that's a testament to the early game in this game is not great. It's just not. And you have to really, you got to be passionate about it. You really have to like force yourself to get into the late game to enjoy this game. So at the end of it, I unlocked enough stuff to get to space, and I'm like, great, I can at least go to space. And I lift off, and I fly off of my planet, and I accidentally hit some function that makes it where I can't aim with my mouse anymore. And I drift off into space. And I'm like, oh my God, I start panicking. What am I doing? What am I doing? And my dude is drifting farther and farther away out of the solar system. And I'm like,
Gravity.
oh my God, I'm stuck in it's like the movie it's like Gravity.
It's Gravity.
Help me. And I'm watching my solar system get farther and farther away as I can't fly my stupid little bumblebee because I fat fingered something. I don't know what I did. And I'm trying to figure out how to fly. And
Fly,
what's
Bumblebee,
that?
fly.
What's that? In the distance, as I leave my shitty factory behind, I see it, a planet. I start hitting my arrow keys and rolling and spinning circles until I finally just kind of aim myself at this planet. And I just watch as I slowly drift into it. And when I finally get to this planet that's so far away from my garden planet, it's a literal ball of fire.
Oh, the lava planet?
The lava planet. And like I land on it.
You mean hell?
Yes, I land on it. And I'm looking around, I'm like, I'm in hell. I drifted off into space and I'm in hell. And I don't know how to get back
Garden
home.
of Eden.
Yes, and I don't know how to get back home. Hell. That was my
That's
whole
what you
journey with
get.
this game. So yeah, my my personal experience with this game sucked. But that's when I started watching videos. I started watching videos of people who really did put the work into getting to the late game.
That's hilarious.
And that's where I saw the magic of this game. I watched a video of this dude who, again, he was setting up supply chains, but he decided to make his huge factory planet, and he covered an entire planet in this huge factory chain. And he used drones for everything. So after he set this all up and he finally switched it all on and had his drones, the planet just erupted in drones. Drones covered the sky and everything came to life. And it was like looking at a Christmas tree covered in drones on this lonely, icy planet in the middle of nowhere. And in that moment, I was like, oh my God, this game is awe-inspiring if you can do it, if you can get there. If you can get to it, there's such a wow factor with this game. And that's coming from me who hates these games. Like,
yeah.
It's amazing. I mean, the whole point is to build the Dyson sphere. And, like, you literally build a Dyson sphere. Like, you set up rail guns with all this energy and they're shooting solar sails and all this stuff. And you get to design the pattern of your Dyson sphere. They didn't have to do that. That was a decision they made to allow you to customize whatever your Dyson sphere is. So you can draw dicks on a sun.
God.
And you can make that a Dyson
My
sphere.
goal is to draw dicks on the sun.
I mean, what other game allows you to draw dicks on the sun?
That is the ultimate way to declare your power, is to draw a dick on the sun.
That's
if
what
you
I'm
do
saying.
that, then, like, nobody is ever going to doubt or challenge your abilities ever.
yeah.
Like, okay, so there's a lot of games where it's like progression, right?
Yeah.
That's the core thing of a lot of different games.
That
I mean,
keeps
you
you
have
going.
Minecraft. You start punching a tree and you end up with a castle. Like, it's great. This one, you start punching a tree and you end up drawing a dick on the sun. Like, it's...
There is a top of the mountain aspect to factory games like this. Like, for this one, it is encapsulating the goddamn sun and absorbing its energy. In Satisfactory, it is this massive I mean, like, spanning acres, miles of factory, and just being able to look over it. And then in Factorio, it's not on this list, but by the time we were done, I have at least 400 hours in it. It looks like a motherboard when you zoom out. It is so precise and so many moving components and pieces. It literally looks like the motherboard inside the computer, which is like ironic because that's what's running it. So, but yeah, a lot of these games, and so it's hard for us because we only have 2 weeks, so we have to extrapolate. We have to take the features and kind of just know as professional gamers of where this is going to go, what it's going to look like, watch videos, and see what the top of the mountain looks like. And that's something we have to factor in. But you can't discount the early and the mid game because you can't get to the top of the mountain if the fucking start of the mountain just kills you, if it's discourages you. So
That's true.
Right. It's like a mentality. If you're looking for a game that you can play for 400, 500, 600 hours, great. But if you're looking for a game that, it's kind of like a movie versus a long Netflix series.
Yeah.
Right. What are you looking for? Because these games scratch different itches in that aspect.
Well, and the thing I was going to say is I might really like hour 400 of Dyson Sphere if I can get through hour 10 of Dyson Sphere, but I won't know it if I can't. And that's something you got to measure these kind of games on. It's super important.
All right, you've all been talking shit about this game, and I really like it. So, Cowboy, tell me something good.
Okay. Well, I did say it was well designed, and I can tell that. So despite my things, let me talk objectively. The ability to build is actually really cool and easy. Like laying conveyor belts is you click one end and then you click the other, and it does a lot of the work you can construct. But you can also go vertical, just like Satisfactory. So you get that top-down view of seeing everything, but you also get the multiple vertical layers in which you can run things over the same space.
Right, absolutely. Like you just push a button and it raises up a level.
It does.
You push that button again, it goes up another level. And you don't have to, like Satisfactory had a little bit of jank to trying to do that.
Yeah.
Unless you set it up perfectly with different pillars. Like you couldn't just get it right.
And
but this one you could just raise it up a couple levels and throw it over another one.
And there's a lot of customization in building. They give you options. So like when you're building a splitter, you can classify which lane has priority for incoming, which lane has priority for outgoing, and filters on those lanes. So you can have a lane that's completely mixed up and jumbled, but the filter will tell it, all right, iron's going this way, copper's going this way, and then that can feed into another splitter. And it's fully customizable so that you can do a lot more with a lot less pieces than, say, other games, because they let you tailor them.
Yeah, Factorio specifically.
It was Factorio. I son of a bitch.
I mean, Factorio, you can do that stuff, but it requires like coding. Like you have to build a brain that knows things that can filter things the right way. But in this one, it's just like, oh, you put a little filter thing down and you just pick the thing you want, and it just does it. Like you don't have to worry about all that.
This one doesn't give you such base. This one gives you complex tools that can fit a lot of jobs. Other games, it's kind of like figure it the fuck out, and it throws you like a wrench and a screwdriver, and you got to construct like a brand new engine. But this game is like, you can do a lot with a little. Mm-hmm. And so they did. It's part of the gameplay. They programmed in a lot of adaptability, and I really applaud them, because when I did build, I didn't really have to think about it. I'm like, this moves here. The grabbers that load the machines that make things have incredible range. They can reach out and grab it from any distance. They can go up, down. Like the developers are like, why make you have to worry about how close a production? Just fucking go out there and grab it. You're a robot. Just fucking reach out and grab it. And I was like, yeah, fucking reach out and grab it. Thank you. That's what I've been yelling at my monitor.
It's like a slightly more flexible Factorio in the early game, at least.
Flexible is the best. Dyson Sphere lets you be very flexible with your builds.
So that was Dyson Sphere Program, the game that takes you from punching trees to drawing dicks on the sun. Is that a good thing? Yes.
What's one bad thing about it, Jay?
Nope. Cowboy.
Well, now we know what's good, what's bad, and what matters. As always, our contenders will be awarded trophies based on the 3 categories of art direction, fun factor, and game design. Then, with those in mind, we will crown an ultimate victor for today's battle.
I'm up first with the art trophy. This trophy was surprisingly hard to decide. On the surface, it's clear that Satisfactory has more impressive visuals. From the environment to factory animations, the game is total eye candy. I had, and will continue to have, a blast exploring its 4 different beautiful maps. I also really enjoyed the music too. It reminded me of all the best parts of synthy science video soundtracks you heard when you were in high school. However, there's only one game tonight that filled me with a sense of awe when exploring the cosmos, and that's actually Dyson Sphere Program. You may play as a little Autobot knockoff on more simplified worlds than Satisfactory, but the game oozes atmosphere once you get to explore your solar system and beyond. Exploring space feels real, and every new world has an appropriately atmospheric soundtrack to boot. Plus, I may not have been able to build it, but watching videos of fully automated production lines, complete with thousands of transport drones on cold, distant worlds, was simply amazing to me. And for that, the Dyson Sphere program actually wins the art trophy.
Awesome. I'm up next with Fun Factor. Satisfactory had one major plus. That is, it didn't feel like Factorio.
Oh my god.
The 3D space, limitless spaghettification, and hilarity that can be achieved with hypertubes made this a unique experience that takes only some of the bad from Factorio. Dyson Sphere program, on the other hand, feels like Factorio's sibling. The early game and many of the mechanics are basically ripped straight out of Factorio. Once you get past the early game, though, oh boy, do things change. The scale, planet hopping, upgrade tree, and, well, really everything is just better. DSP isn't just a sibling, it's the sibling that their parents loved the most. I did genuinely like both games, which surprised me quite a bit with my disdain for Factorio, but when I sat down to play Satisfactory, I couldn't stop thinking of the other, better sibling. Dyson Sphere program wins the Fun Factor trophy.
And I'll round things out here with the game design trophy. So for both games, design is important, as the games generate fun through your freedom to design the factories in your own way. Now, Satisfactory gets a huge boost for its multiplayer. It's more simpler, it's more fun-seeking, and its environments are more aesthetic, and it has a lot of functional charm. Dyson Sphere is well-rounded. No, that's a joke, but putting that aside, it does give you a lot. It has a expanded scope over Satisfactory. The UIs on both are decent to navigate and can be frustrating, but I think Dyson Sphere takes the cake on that one. I'd say both games are expertly designed, but may vary slightly as to which audience gravitate to them. So it did become a hard call in the end as far as approachability versus the depth of it. But I'm going to go ahead and give the design trophy for all its features and for the impressiveness that it only took 5 people to make it. Dyson Sphere program takes the design trophy.
So those were the trophies for today's showdown, which show you where each game excels. But now it's time to cast our vote to find out the final winner for the title Fun-fficient Factory Building Logistic Game. Jake, what's your vote?
So, contrary to the trophy winners tonight, I'm voting for Satisfactory. I had so much fucking fun playing the game, and I'm going to keep playing it.
And Cowboy.
Yeah, the battle is Fun-fficient Factory Building Logistic Game. I'm going to have to give it to Satisfactory. It's in the name. And because I think it wins.
And I'll go last, and fuck, my vote doesn't matter, because I'm going for Dyson Sphere program.
Yay!
Yeah, whatever, play the music.
Play the fucking music. Yay! Woo! Well, there you have it. Another perfectly efficient episode. Everything in line, everything moved like a smooth conveyor belt. As long as we edit this well.
Tonight was certainly something, man.
It was certainly something. Now, thank you to all you Franks for sending listener questions through our social media. We really appreciate it. For a reminder, you can find us on Twitter, Instagram, and that's it. And you can also check out our website, head2headpod.com or h2hpod.com, for those of you who hate the letter E.
And as always, a quick thank you to Metroid Mike for the use of his song. It's called I Can't Break, and it's off of the album Heart of the Juggernaut. You can hear it at the beginning and the end of this show. Twitter him, give him kisses.
And I also want to give a thanks to you, listeners, Franks as I call you. Frank, I appreciate every single one of you for tuning in and enjoying the show that we make. We love making it for you guys, and we love the people who are submitting questions and talking with us. And we can't wait to build a massive community where everybody feels welcome. If you guys can, and I really got to stress this, trap your friends into listening to this. If they get in the car with you, lock the doors, stare them in the eye, and hit the play button and make them listen. They may not like it at first, but it'll grow on them. And soon they'll be laughing. That's how Stockholm Syndrome works. So trust me, go ahead and do it. We did it to you. Now it's your turn to do it to them. It is a pyramid scheme. As always.
It's a pyramid scheme of fun.
A pyramid scheme of love, of fun.
It's not a pyramid scheme. It's a reverse funnel system.
Oh.
It's a meat grinder. If you guys could, we're still a fetus of a podcast. To be honest, unless you're listening to this in the year 2050, we're dead. But before that, we're probably massive. But right now, if you're listening to this contemporarily, we are still a small podcast. I don't think we even have any reviews on Apple. So if you guys could, if you love us, if you laughed even once, you owe it to me. You owe me. All right? Well, could you please go fill out an Apple review? Say some funny stuff.
You can
weird.
be the first.
You can be the first.
Take our Apple review virginity.
Oh,
Ew.
That's a little weird, but yeah.
You could do it.
Get in there.
You could. Right now, you could do it.
Have some fun with it. And give us feedback, too. We're so starved for feedback. People tell us they love the show, but they don't tell us what about it and things. So give us some info. Tell us what you love about it. Tell us why you listen. And then follow us on Twitter. I'm always on Twitter trying to tell jokes. Get at me, get weird. I'll message you back. Slide in my DMs. I'll slide right back. I'm not sure how that works. Jake is on...
Woof.
Is that not how it works? Jake is on Instagram. DM him. He is an expert. He's not as bad as me. He knows the terminology. And then as always, I think we mentioned Twitter and the website, but just talk to us. Now... get the fuck out of here.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Or morning. Or afternoon. Or
12:30?
Or banter.
Or rutabaga.
Well, boys, you can get out of here. I had a meeting with Luke, and I'm letting everyone go home now.
What? Really?
Yeah.
Wow. So Luke really got you to understand that workers are the backbone of big businesses and should be respected as people and not treated like cogs in a machine who are only valued for their efficiency?
What? No. Where did you get that garbage?
Oh.
He threatened to lock my social media accounts I used to troll support groups if I didn't let him take a look at the database.
Oh. Well, okay, but, I mean, he did improve the systems, which shows that you should trust your workers for ideas.
Well, actually, he did find the metrics were 100% accurate due to a few flaws in our database systems, which were, what do you call it, obsolete.
What, obsolete? What database are we using? MySQL? MongoDB?
It's something called Excel 97. But I guess the name is misleading because it does not excel at keeping track of big data metrics for 150 employees, let me tell you. And you think they'd have it figured out by the 97th sequel. Oh, numbskulls.
Wait, where's Luke?
Well, still in my office. He literally blew a fuse when I showed him.
Wait, literally?
No, idiot. It's a figure of speech. Anyway, he's been running the data through another program all day, and it turns out we're actually, 30% over targets. Well, 45% now, with all the backbreaking labor I introduced on the staff today.
Oh, well, that's good for us then.
Oh, yeah. Oh, especially for me. Once the higher-ups caught word we fixed the error, they gave me a massive bonus for being so over goal. So, I guess it was worth it all in the end. Well, I'm out of here.
But it was...
I'll see you nerds bright and early tomorrow. That's when you'll be here anyway. I'll see you guys when I come in at noon. Anyways, later, losers.
Maybe we really should just quit this place.
We can't do that.
Why?
You know why?
What?
Why? Why not?
Dude, we're too tired for a fourth wall break right now. Just do the sigh so we can go home.
But he...